Welcome friends, we have our setup video here for you today. So we are going to start with learning how to set up your bike, what the form is while you're riding it, and some general tips. So let's get started. So let's talk options for a tire, okay? So most of the time, especially if you're at home, you're just going to be wearing regular shorts and tank top and then just running shoes or workout shoes, right? A lot of bikes have the cages, so you'll see where you can actually put your foot inside of the cage and be able to pedal that way. I have SPD clips. Now, this is from when I used to ride outside. A lot of studios will have SPD clips as well. And then you wear special shoes that have a clip on the bottom. The difference is when you're clipped in, you actually have more power as you're pushing down and pulling up. Makes your ride go much more smoothly. Now again, you can have just regular shoes. You're still gonna get a great ride out of that, but that is just another option. Another thing to consider is right now I'm just wearing regular shorts. These are not bike shorts. But you could consider getting a bike specific short. So it would have like a pad in it. A lot of outside bikers will wear the padded shorts, generally because their seats are a lot firmer. So I have a firmer seat because that's what I prefer. This is a little bit thinner. A lot of bikes, indoor bikes, will have a little bit thicker seat, a little bit more padding. Totally fine. I will warn you though, no matter what size padding, how thick it is, you are gonna have a sore butt, especially in the beginning. So no matter what you do, you're still gonna have a sore butt. That area has to kind of get used to things as you're going along. So just be patient with that. You're doing fine, but it just depends on what your comfort level is. Let's get you set up on this bike. So we're first going to start with the saddle, okay? Standing next to the bike, wearing the shoes that you're going to be wearing when you're on the bike, you're going to be kind of looking where the saddle is in comparison to where your hip bones are, okay? So you're going to want to, if you need to adjust, generally this is what most bikes do, you're going to be taking your knob, you're going to twist out, move the hand or move the bar wherever you need to, and then make sure that you twist it back in. Very critical. I've seen many people go because they didn't push it back in. So make sure you do that. Okay, so now we're going to test to see if that's a good spot. So get on your bike and just start moving your feet. Okay, just start pedaling. At the bottom of your rotation, you should have a slight bend in the knee. Now, if you have a full extended knee, that means you're too high. If you're way down here, that means you're too low. It should just be a slight bend in the knee here, okay? Obviously get off and adjust it as needed. So now I want to check where your knees are, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to pedal until you get parallel with the floor. So I don't want you pushing your heel up. Try to make it so your foot is completely flat as best you can. Now I want you to retent, or you can even grab a string with a heavy washer at the end. That's what we do when we test people in cycling classes. You take your string, or you visualize, and you visualize looking down. The string should hit the top of your foot right here. So right in the middle of the top of your foot. It shouldn't be by your toes, it shouldn't be way back here, right about here. So that is a great positioning for where your knees need to be, because if you're way far back here or way far forward, that could injure you. So you want to make sure that this is about where you need to be. How do you fix that? Well, you got to come back here and you're going to adjust your seat coming back or forward right here. Okay, so now that we got the saddle all figured out and our legs all figured out, let's talk about the upper body and where we need to be with the handlebars. So as you are sitting on the bike, you're going to lean forward and you're going to place your hands up at the head of the bike. So this is called position 1, okay, or first position. So if you're too high, then you're not going to be able to lean forward very well, and your elbows are going to be bent like this. It might be a little bit more comfortable, so sometimes people like it a little bit higher. That's kind of on you. If you think that you need something a little higher, that's fine. But you definitely don't want something super low because that's just not good for your back. So kind of find a spot that kind of works works for you. Nice slight bend in those elbows. And again, if it's not working as you're riding, just fix it. Okay, so we just talked a little bit about that first positioning form. So let's go over those different positionings and what the form should look like as you're riding your bike. So what that looks like is your chin is up, your eyes are kind of looking down where you have a nice neutral spine here. Neck is long, chest is out. You're making sure you have your core, your TVA is engaged, and you're protecting that back by keeping it nice and neutral. Okay, so you have a nice little lean in your hips. You're not letting yourself slouch. Nice little lean. This is generally when we are on a flat stretch. Sometimes we'll use this for sprinting as well, but this is first position. Let's talk about second position. So second position is when we maybe increase the resistance a little bit more. So we're going to have our hands in second position here. Again, you're going to be leaning forward a little bit more elbow bend. And this is where you're really feeling that resistance, but you're not quite ready to stand up yet. Again, checking that form, nice neutral spine, and the core is engaged. Okay, so let's talk about position 3. This is when you have more resistance and when you're standing up, generally speaking. So you're going to have your hands up here. You're going to start up that flywheel, and we're going to stand up nice and smooth. Okay, always think smooth, not rigid or rocky or doing anything crazy. So as you're doing this, you have a nice steady movement. Your butt is just tapping that seat, which means that you can't be leaning forward like this. That is not a good position to be in. So keep that butt back, slightly tapping the seat. Nice neutral spine, core is tight. Another thing is, and this is what I see a lot of people do, is they might just start bouncing like crazy like this, especially when they get tired. No good. You want to keep a nice steady form, really focus on those legs, pushing through that rotation and letting it burn. Okay, so as far as general maintenance of the bike, there's really not a ton, but some things to keep in mind. So just make sure that the knobs are tight, so all of the different knob places, they're in the right position. If you have any of the bolts and things, every once in a while check those. A little tip with the friction resistance for maintenance, if you have some WD-40, spray it on a rag, and then every once in a while, just lightly spin the flywheel and just lightly put it on each side. So the felt can sometimes get a little dry, it might make a little bit more noise. Just having a little extra like WD-40 kind of makes the ride a lot more smoother and kind of cuts down on any noise you might hear at all. All right, I think that that's it for now. So if you have any questions at all, be sure to reach out to me or Britt. We are super excited to get these classes going and part of our virtual library, and I cannot wait to ride with you.